for watching. Here's our last in a 6-lesson series called Finding the Hip Joint in Many Ways. This is our last lunge lesson. If you haven't done the lesson previous to this one, make sure you do it before this one. So our props that we gathered last time, a stool for stability or to sit on, and a pad. We'll begin with the right knee down, I think is what we were doing last time. This is just here for support if you need it. Your stance is wide. You're resting on the top of your foot. So let's begin by putting a hand on top of your pubic bone. That's the horizontal part of your pelvis. And when you push your left hip high, notice that your pubic bone is basically swinging in a kind of a pendular movement. It's tilting towards the left and it's tilting towards the right, or opening towards the left and opening towards the right, or skiing towards the left and skiing towards the right. So just kind of let it be a little bit looser and just feel that kind of nice swing that happens as you let your pelvis go side to side. This is part of what happens in walking. If the pubic bone gets involved in the movement, then things really start to happen. Okay, so great. Let's stay on this side and let's bring the hands to the hips. And so we talked about that we were spilling the soup out of the, go back to swinging right and left. We're spilling the soup out of the right, we're spilling the soup out of the left, tipping the rim of the bowl to the right and the left. Can you come back to center and now tip the bowl forward so the soup spills out the front of the bowl, and tip it backwards so it spills out the back of the bowl? So really, as you do that, really, how do you negotiate over your hip joints when your pelvis is moving in this direction? It's a little bit trickier of a balance question, because if you get too far forward or too far back, you lose your balance. So just make it small and easy. So now your pubic bone is swinging like a wooden swing set. It's swinging towards the front and it's swinging towards the back. See if you can feel that movement as you gently swing forward and back. Good. Switch legs, switch your stool. So now your left knee will be down. And wide stance, resting on the top of your foot. Find your pubic bone, the two ends of your pubic bone, and as you begin to spill the soup to the right and to the left, can you allow that sense of that pubic bone, which is tilting and tilting, tilting and tilting, as if you were moving the swing set seat side to side, yeah? And then hands back on your hips and just let it be loose, loose, loose and soft, loose and soft, easy, 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 small. Good. Take a rest on your back, please. Give yourself time to lengthen out and sense what you notice in your hip joints. The sensations in the hip joints, the sensations in the inner thighs and the hip joints over the pelvis, the weight of your sacrum. And then please come one more time up into your lunge position by rolling to a side. We'll start with the right knee down and the left foot forward. And let's begin again with the soup spilling forward and back and forward and back and forward and back. And now please imagine that there's a conduit of light that starts at the center of your skull, shines through your skull, through the center of your neck, through the center of your ribs, through the center of your belly, and out your pelvic outlet. So you have like a pool noodle that's illuminated, that kind of beam of light shining through you from the crown of your head to your pelvic outlet. And so now, as you start with the bottom part of the light, can you swing the light forward so it comes forward towards me and backwards away from me? And just sense what it's like to have the sense of that movement in the pelvis coming all the way through you. Like a beam of light is, a flashlight is shining forward and then shining behind you. And as your pelvis comes forward, can you let your head tip forward so the whole pool noodle curves in one direction? As the beam of light moves backwards behind you, your head lifts up a little bit. So curving forward, opening backwards. Head and tail come towards each other, rocking over your hip joints, using your chair if you need it for balance. This is no small feat, so you can make it small. And then please switch legs. Switch your pads, or maybe you have a pad that works for both knees. Wouldn't that be great? And once again, that conduit of light that starts at the center of the skull shines through the center of your skull, the center of your neck, the center of your rib cage, the center of your belly, and out your pelvic outlet. Start to swing the light forward as your chin drops. Swing the light back as your chin lifts. Very small movement as you see that illuminated pool noodle curving in one direction, curving in another direction. Small, soft, and easy. Using your chair so that you don't have to tense and grip for balance. Good. Lie down again and take a brief rest on your back. Resting your legs long. Coming back up, last time, starting with the right knee down. So can you take the flashlight forward and then take it to the right, and then take it back, and then take it to the left? So you are using the beam of light that's shining out your pelvic outlet on the floor to draw a circle that is in front of you, to the right of you, behind you, and to the left of you. You can put your hands on your hips so that you can feel the movement better. Reverse the direction of the circle. Good. Now put one hand on your head as you go forward. Your head comes forward. As you go right, your head comes right. As you go back, your head goes back. As you go left, your head goes forward. You can keep your hand there or not. You may need to have a hand on your stool to support yourself as you negotiate all of this motion through your pelvis over the ball of the femoral head that is the ball in the ball and socket joint. Okay, let's switch to the other side. You can obviously spend a great deal more time working with this, but for the sake of our lessons, we're gonna make it a little bit less. Okay, so Finding the conduit of light that's shining out your pelvis and circling on the floor. So you circle forward, you circle left, you circle back, you circle right, as if you were shining a beam out your pelvic outlet that was beaming a circle on the floor. Take your hand and put it on your head. When your pelvis goes forward, your head goes forward. When your pelvis goes left, your head goes left. Pelvis and head go back, pelvis and head go right. Now make it much smaller. Bring your hand onto your chair to support you. It's okay to be confused. It's okay to be frustrated. If you want to just do the pelvis, just circle the pelvis, that's totally fine. And then come back to adding the head when you're more comfortable. All right, so we will stop there. I'm just checking the time. Yeah, we should stop. So please come and lie down on your back one more time. So what does it feel like in your pelvis, in your inner thighs, in the fronts of your hip joints, in your outer thighs, in your gluteals, in your pelvis, in your low back, in your pubic bone, in your low belly? Roll yourself to your side, press up to sitting. Find your way to your hands and knees and up to standing. And just take a walk and notice how many of those dimensions are now in your walk. Can you feel a little forward to back? Can you feel a little right to left? Can you feel a little up and down? And how is that all playing out in a really solid and flexible walk? So that's it for our hip series. Thanks so much for joining me. I really appreciate it. I hope you'll continue to join me and subscribe if you haven't. Thank you.